Guys, what is the crack? Welcome to the beautiful Skerries. Why is Dinny dressed like this? We'll get to that in a second. So, you have the opportunity to create generational wealth. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. But you have the opportunity in front of you today to create generational wealth for your family. You have the opportunity to purchase the scarcest digital property that we have on the planet, and I hope you realise what the opportunity that's in front of you. And today what I just wanted to chat to you a little bit about was about how not to screw this up, because a lot of people are going to screw this up, because the majority of people that are in crypto, remember, they are making all the mistakes that retail people make, and generally it's like a 4-year apprenticeship. Crypto is, in that it takes people generally 4 years. They make mistakes and they screw up their first Bitcoin cycle, and your first Bitcoin cycle determines your short-term wealth. And by short-term wealth I mean, 5 to 10 years. Okay, how you play your first Bitcoin cycle determines your short-term wealth. How you play your second Bitcoin cycle will determine your long-term wealth, your generational wealth. Okay, so that means it's okay if you screw it up in the first 4 years. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. You still have opportunity to create generational wealth. So when we transition from anything that's physical to digital, it only happens one time. Okay, the switch from a physical commodity, has that even ever happened? Before Bitcoin, it's never happened, to a digital. Okay, it only happens once. That's why you only get one chance at this. That's why, lo and behold, we could be the luckiest people on earth that we're living through this period of time. That Bitcoin was created, no one understood it, and we had the ability to do the work for ourselves, not to listen to clickbait headlines or our poor friends, okay, or maybe our wealthy friends who are old and don't understand technology, but do the work for ourselves, okay, and actually figure this thing out and realise that we have access to digital gold, digital currency, digital property, a digital asset, and, as Michael Saylor says, which is so big, no one can understand this, it took me a long time to get digital energy, but digital energy, we've digitised energy itself. How the hell? Amazing, right? So that's the enormity of this thing. So how do you screw it up? Guys, remember daily exercise, right? I better tell you why I'm dressed, because I'm not normally dressed this flash. But I've best man duties today. My younger brother's getting married, so we're heading up to the wedding in Carlingford today. And I'm just out here getting a few steps in, because my wife, of course, is in getting her hair done or makeup done or something in Skerries, and I thought I'd just go for a walk and shoot a little video and have a chat to you guys while I'm waiting on her good self. So, big day for the Collins family, for my family. Younger brother getting married. Very proud of him. And looking forward to having a fantastic day with the family, spending time with the family, because that's the reason why I invest, so I can get my time back. Okay? Flashy material things are cool and fun, but none of that stuff matters. You can't take it with you. We're all going out the same way. Same way we came in. Okay? And all that matters is the experience that we have in the middle. To me, anyway, that's my outlook. We're all different. So really look forward to today. It's going to be an awesome day. So how do you screw this up? Okay? If you've got access to be able to accumulate some Bitcoin now, accumulate a digital asset that's the scarcest thing on the planet, and no one understands it, how do you screw it up? There's only one way that you can sort of screw that up, and it's to not accumulate it. Pretty simple, really. Okay? Now, some people come into this market and they're trying to be really clever, okay? And they're trying to time the market, they're trying to trade, and they're sitting on the sidelines. Bitcoin's gone up 25% in the last week. 25%. Those people are getting itchy fingers, and they'll probably FOMO in now if it goes up another 5k, and they'll end up getting half as much generational wealth as they could have, okay? Because it'll have gone up 50% then, when they could have bought the lows at 20k, but they're waiting for 15. So they've cut their generational wealth in half for the sake of 5 grand, for the sake of trying to buy Bitcoin for 15 instead of 20. Like, I don't know But to me, that just makes no sense whatsoever. My brain works differently than other people. Other people, maybe you can't figure that, but to me, it just makes absolutely no sense that you would put your generational wealth at risk, because no one can buy the bottoms. All right, and that's why the strategy that we use at Crypto with Dinny and we teach, and all the clients that we consult and we build these plans for, it's always got a dollar cost average element. All right, now I'll run through some figures with you. And this isn't financial advice, okay? If you go and buy Bitcoin, and Bitcoin isn't digital gold, or it doesn't achieve digital energy, or it doesn't become digital, well, it already has become a digital currency, but if they stop using it as a digital currency, if all the use cases for it fall away and Bitcoin fails, that's on you, okay? It's an investment asset. If you learn to understand money, you'll realise we need Bitcoin, so we don't have to be feckin' investors. We can just save money. But at the moment, we can't save money because our money is trash. Okay? Toilet paper is retaining value better than your euro. How do I know that? Well, in 5 years' time, do you think toilet paper is going to be more expensive or cheaper to buy? More expensive. Yeah, you're all nodding your head. It's going to be more expensive. Alright, therefore, if you take all your money out of the bank and buy toilet paper and leave it in a warehouse and then sell that toilet paper in 5 years, you'll probably be in a better position than saving the currency in the bank. Alright? And that's crude and a silly example, but it's probably true, which is the irony of the situation. Okay? So we need Bitcoin. We need Bitcoin to succeed. And we need to accumulate Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin appreciates at 50%, okay, 50% for a decade. Now remember, Bitcoin is averaging. Morning, Ricky, what's the crack? John, what's the story? Lawrence is on. Gaz is on. Many bicep curls last night. Yes, there was a good few bicep curls last night. I was out for a few pints. So, what was I talking about there? Yes. So if Bitcoin's appreciated 50% a year, okay, that means that $5,000 invested into Bitcoin is worth somewhere around $500,000. That's the effect of compounding. Remember, Einstein calls it the 8 wonder of the world. People aren't appreciating this. So $5,000 has the potential, if Bitcoin does 50% a year, to get up close to $500,000. Alright? $5,000 is a lot of money, Dinny. I don't have $5,000. To accumulate 5,000 euros, you would have to save, what is it? It's less than €1 a day. Oh no, maybe it's more. Slightly over €1 a day for a decade. So could you do that? Hopefully you can if you're watching this. Alright? That's how easy it is to accumulate your $5,000 position. Don't buy a coffee twice a week and now you have $500,000 in Bitcoin. Potentially, not guaranteed. It's investing, there's risk. But you have a portfolio that has the potential to be $500,000. And that's what Bitcoin does 50% a year. What if we go into a hyper Bitcoinized world? Because remember, Bitcoin has been doing 170. That's what it's been averaging. That's just the facts. That's the truth. Some years it goes down 10, some years it goes up 400. The average, okay, average it out, 170. Okay? And I'm saying only 50. I'm saying, no, it's not going to do that. Let's not blow smoke up your arse. Let's just say 50%. Run the figures. Get a compound interest calculator off Google there. Put $5,000 into it, compound it by 50%, put it in for a decade, and it's 500 and something thousand. Okay? So that's what you have at your disposal. You have the option to participate in that. Okay? I think it's a good idea to do it. That's why my day job is consulting with people and helping to build these plans and how to store it and taking their crypto off exchanges and setting up wallets so that in a decade they still have their Bitcoin. You know, so there's not a risk of the contagion that's in our market at the moment because of this deep market correction, and a lot of the companies are going bankrupt and people are losing their crypto. They're losing their hard-earned Bitcoin. And just like 10 years ago, you know, when you lost 100 quid worth of Bitcoin, it was like, damn it, feck it anyway, doesn't really matter much. And then you put it into Google today and you go, oh my god, the amount of money I lost that day. Okay, well the same will be true today. People aren't respecting their Bitcoin. They don't see the potential it has, and they're valuing it on its current valuation. Okay, as investors, we're valuing things on their future valuation. That's why we invest into them. That's why we buy them. Okay, and the fundamentals of Bitcoin is that it's a money that's programmed to go up in value over time. Programmed to go up in value over time. What Bitcoin needs to continue to eat the world is it needs increased adoption. That means it needs people to choose to own it. Okay? Now, we're all rational actors in that every human, we have this survival instinct, so we act out of self-interest. Okay? And in one sense, it'll prevent us from owning Bitcoin, because our survival instincts want to keep us safe, and they don't like change. And anything that's a shift, especially a paradigm shift or something as enormous as that, whoa, I'm not ready for that. Okay? Maybe I'll start heading back here now. The beautiful scaries. Alright, so in one sense our survival instincts keep us safe, but Bitcoin's adoption relies on people choosing to own it. And if I was to say to you, excuse me, I just strolling up the path here and I stop someone and I just say, sorry, just a random question. Would you rather hold something that goes up in value or something that goes down in value? You know, all rational thinking folk would say, I'd rather something that goes up in value. Okay, brilliant. Buy Bitcoin. Alright, obviously they won't, but they might look at Bitcoin and they'll see it going up, and in 5 years of watching it going up, then they'll buy it, because the people who are buying Bitcoin today have been looking at Bitcoin for 5 years, or they have the story they could have bought it in 2013, and then they do it. Alright, so this happens, you know, this just happens regardless. It's just this vacuum that Bitcoin creates, and it just sucks in capital, because we operate out of self-interest and we want to own the thing that's going to make us the most money, because money is energy and money is time, and money allows us to buy back our time. Okay, so we want money. All humans are incentivized to want money. Even if you want to be a spiritual Buddha, okay, or you want to run a church, you still need to do collections, because you need to heat the place, you need to pay your electricity bill, you need to pay your council rates. Do you know what I mean? So everyone needs money, so everyone's incentivized to hold the best form of money, or what we call the hardest form of money. Hit the like button if you're like the random the random waffles. Maybe hit the share button if you think there's a good message here that some people might like to see. But so people are incentivized to hold the hardest form of money. And how do they decide what the hardest form of money is? Well, the market tells them. Okay, and for 13 years the market's been telling us that Bitcoin's the hardest form of money. That's why it's the highest performing money. There's no other money out there that's gone up 60 million%. Find a currency that's gone up 60 million%. Currencies are going down 10%, 60%. What's Turkey's currency gone down? Okay, so all the other currencies and monies you've access to are going down. Gold is doing nothing except protecting value. That's all gold does. The money that you have today, if you put it in gold, it'll probably still be worth the same money in 100 years time. That's what gold has done for 5,000 years. I don't think that's going to change. But there's only one form of money that's appreciating in value. So when given the opportunity, for those who are willing to do a little bit of work on this thing and understand it, guys, okay, understand how big this movement is, how big this invention is, how big this technology is, it has the ability, okay, if you are willing to do the work on it and get your head around this thing, you'd be as bullish as me, and you would definitely own some, and you'd definitely be buying it every week, and you wouldn't care about the price, because the price is absolutely irrelevant. Now, I'll give you a little disclaimer. You wouldn't take all of your money, every euro you have, and buy Bitcoin, okay? Because it's not a certainty that it works out. There's an element of risk, and that's why there's such asymmetric returns, because of the risk. If there's no risk, there's no returns. When there's no risk in Bitcoin, it's valued over $1 million, okay? And there's probably still will be a bit of risk, because it'll continue to increase in value until it gets to 6 million, 10 million, and just eats the whole world. Okay, but there'll be much less risk. So the fact that there's risk means there's reward. That's how it works. So you wouldn't take all your money and buy Bitcoin, but you'd certainly take some of your money and buy Bitcoin, because what you see is the opportunity to participate in generational wealth for you and your family, to own, because this is digital property, okay, in the whole world. And we have a digital world. We have a physical world, we have a digital world, okay. In the digital world, there's one source of property that every human can own, okay, that's agreed upon, that we've all agreed, okay, this is worth owning, and that's Bitcoin, because it's orders of magnitude larger than anything else. And because all the other crypto assets struggle for immutability, meaning humans are in control of them, they're mining them for themselves, whereas Bitcoin was this fairly distributed and fairly launched digital commodity. But you have the opportunity to get some of that, alright? Now, it's not like buying up scarce real estate in Ireland, which is, that's a good idea. If I could have bought up Grafton Street here in Ireland, that would have been a good idea 100 years ago. Okay? But it's bigger than that. Because this is digital. This is the whole world can argue over this real estate, this property. So, people in Japan aren't interested in Grafton Street. They're not trying to buy it. They're not looking for it. They have no interest in it. Okay? But people in Japan, we all want to buy the same digital property, digital land. Okay? It's the same field that we're all fighting over. Or it's the same world that we all have access to. Because it's the digital world. So I can buy up land. Every time I buy Bitcoin, I'm buying up scarce digital property. And my speculation, the work I've done on it, leads me to believe that by the end of this decade, a lot more people are going to look for this land. Why? Because it's the best place that they can protect their value over time. People understand that if you buy land, land will protect your value over time. Like, obviously you'll have to pay the government tax on it every year, and eventually the tax will mean you'll lose the land over a long enough period of time. But it's, what other vehicles have you got? The money is the worst, which is the irony. Because when I was poor, I wanted money. I thought rich people had money in the bank, and when I figured out the game and got myself out of a mobile home and wasn't poor anymore, you don't have much money in the bank. You just have a lot of assets. You're asset rich. Because the fiat standard causes asset hyperinflation, and it causes currencies to just trend to zero, fiat currencies, as hundreds of them have. So that's the crack, lads, and that's the opportunity that we all have, and it's up to us whether we want to participate in it. If you're watching this for the first time, like, who is this nutter? All I'd say to you is, for the sake of your family, go and put some time into Bitcoin. Go and get some good Bitcoin in education. Start with Bitcoin. Don't go looking at any other crypto assets. Just figure out Bitcoin. Maybe figure out money, maybe figure out gold. That's a lot to do. Okay, don't bother. Just look at Bitcoin, maybe, because I don't want to overwhelm you. But it'll be well worth it. So for me, what Bitcoin done was, gave me no worries about my future, and a better appreciation for my time and my present, and a better understanding of the whole world and how the world works, and a more positive outlook. Because without Bitcoin, I think the world would be a fairly negative place. Like, it'd be hard to see how we move forward, and we don't trend towards losing our time. Our time is being destroyed, and Bitcoin gives you back your time, and the fiat standard steals your time and enslaves you. Maybe that's a bit too aggressive saying enslaves you. I don't want to raise your flags, but it does. It steals your time. Like, your value is destroyed. You exchange your time for money, you keep it in the money, and then the money destroys the value. So your time is destroyed, and your time is the most precious thing that we all have, and it's running out. It's finite. So yeah, very bullish on Bitcoin. It's a generational opportunity. Figure it out, learn about it. If you need help, check out my consulting. If you need help, check out our Retire Early Club, where we teach you everything you need to know to do and build it yourself. Or check out my consulting for 300 quid. I'll build you your retirement pension around Bitcoin. And it's just another iron in the fire, I call it. So if you have a traditional pension, you've got a property, and you've got some stocks and whatever other assets you might have. Well, having a digital asset portfolio is just another iron in the fire. It's just another little thing that has a chance of coming in for you, and it's just another thing that has a chance of coming in for you. But, and I'll finish up now, but statistically, the digital asset plan has outperformed everything else. So guys, I'll leave you with that. I'm going to go see, is my wife ready now? I'm just getting the steps in. My brother's getting married today. I've got my bet. Oh, feck it, I forgot the speech. Shite. Right, there's me in the spot of bother. But we'll wing it. Anyway, guys, I'll say Dinny out. Have a super day.